Amidst the pages of the biblical scriptures, a character emerges, shrouded in mystery and infamy, Jezebel. Her name evokes fear and curiosity, for she was no ordinary figure. A queen, a wife, and a formidable force, Jezebel's tale is woven with the threads of power, manipulation, ruthlessness, and a terrifying fate. In the sacred scriptures of the Old Testament, Jezebel is a central figure in the tales of the prophets, particularly Elijah. In the ancient and mysterious realm of Sidon, a land steeped in history and adorned with tales of power and royalty, the story of Jezebel begins. Born into a lineage of kings, she emerged as a significant figure within this ancient civilization. Jezebel, daughter of Ethbaal, ascended into a world where the Mediterranean waves caressed the shores of Sidon, a Phoenician city known for its maritime prowess, trade, and cultural richness. The Phoenicians were a seafaring people, renowned for their navigational skills and far-reaching trade routes that connected the Mediterranean world. As the daughter of King Ethbaal, Jezebel inherited a legacy of power and prestige. Ethbaal, her father and the reigning monarch of Sidon, had likely established a dynasty that was deeply rooted in the Phoenician culture. Sidon, one of the prominent cities of ancient Phoenicia, was situated on the coast of present-day Lebanon. This coastal city held great significance due to its strategic location and access to vital trade routes, allowing it to flourish as a center of commerce and influence. Phoenician culture was deeply rooted in polytheism, worshipping a multitude of deities associated with various aspects of life and nature. Sidon, being a prominent Phoenician city, was no exception to these practices. Baal, often depicted as a storm god, was one of the central deities in Phoenician religion. Baal worship was widespread, and his cult had a significant influence on the people of Sidon and surrounding regions. Baal was believed to be a god who controlled the rains, ensuring fertile crops and prosperous harvests. The cult of Baal was associated with rituals, including sacrifices and ceremonies performed to seek favor and protection from the god. The goddess Astarte was another important deity in Phoenician religion. She was associated with fertility, love, and war. The worship of Astarte included ceremonies involving sexual rites and rituals to invoke her blessings upon the community. Jezebel, hailing from the royal family of Sidon, was exposed to and practiced these idolatrous religious beliefs. Jezebel's marriage was a pivotal event that not only influenced her life but also left a lasting mark on the history of ancient Israel. Her union was with Ahab, the son of Omri and the king of the northern kingdom of Israel. The alliance between Ahab and Jezebel was a move to strengthen the ties between the northern kingdom of Israel and the prosperous Phoenician city of Sidon. This marriage held the promise of enhanced trade relations and military cooperation, benefiting both realms. However, the union also brought about religious and cultural ramifications. Jezebel, a devout worshipper of Baal and Astarte, introduced and promoted these Phoenician deities within the kingdom of Israel. This caused friction with the faith of Israel, as the Israelites worshipped the Lord God, creator of heaven and earth. The conflict between the worship of Baal and God became a significant aspect of their marriage and reign. Jezebel's influence on Ahab was substantial, guiding his policies and decisions. She was an assertive and influential queen, often portrayed as a dominant force within the kingdom. Her zeal for promoting Baal worship led to the construction of a temple dedicated to Baal in Samaria, the capital of the northern kingdom. She actively supported priests and prophets of Baal, promoting their influence and authority. Her marriage to Ahab was marked by her determination to spread her beliefs and assert her authority over the religious practices of the kingdom. Jezebel had the prophets of the God of Israel killed in cold blood. She installed the prophets of Baal as the religious authority in Israel. However, Elijah, a devoted prophet of God, challenged the prophets of Baal to a public demonstration of the power and authenticity of their respective deities. It did not end well for Baal. He was mocked relentlessly by Elijah, but remained silent. The God of Israel answered with fire from heaven. After this display, Elijah commanded the people to seize the prophets of Baal, and he personally led them down to the Kishon Valley where they were executed. In response to the death of her prophets, Queen Jezebel was enraged and threatened Elijah's life. She sent a message to Elijah, vowing to kill him within 24 hours. Fearful for his life, Elijah fled, seeking refuge and safety. Jezebel was not only strong in her idolatry, she wielded great influence over Ahab, shaping the king and his decisions. Jezebel's reign was marked by her undeterred ambition and relentless pursuit of power. She was cunning, manipulative, and unyielding, a woman with a vision that surpassed the constraints of her time. But in her ambition lay a darkness that would seal her fate. One of the most infamous episodes involving Jezebel is the story of Naboth's vineyard. It is here that her manipulation and thirst for power come to a head. Naboth, a simple man who owned a vineyard coveted by Ahab, was wrongly accused and put to death at Jezebel's behest so that Ahab could seize his vineyard. This dark event, shrouded in deceit, further fueled the animosity towards Jezebel. After God's prophet Elijah heard about the murder of Naboth, he sent a chilling message to King Ahab, Jezebel's husband, predicting the downfall of his dynasty. About Jezebel he added, "The dogs shall eat Jezebel within the walls of Jezreel." This prophecy was a grim foreshadowing of the events that would later transpire. Jezreel was a city of great significance in the narrative of the kings of Israel and Judah, and it would serve as the setting for the unfolding of this prophecy. The prophecy was fulfilled when Jehu, anointed as king by divine order, was sent to execute God's judgment upon the house of Ahab. Jehu led a coup against Ahab's son Joram and killed him near the vineyard of Naboth. Following this, he went to Jezreel where Jezebel lived. Upon Jehu's arrival in Jezreel, news of his approach reached the ears of Jezebel. Fearless and defiant to the end, she resorted to her accustomed regal demeanor, adorning herself with finery and carefully painting her eyes. Stationed by the window, she awaited Jehu's arrival, ready to face the unfolding events. As Jehu entered the city gates, Jezebel, standing at the window, called out to him with a taunting question, accusing him in a derogatory tone, comparing him to the treacherous usurper Zimri. Jehu, undeterred by her jibe, looked up at the window and responded with a challenge of his own, seeking allies among the eunuchs present. In a swift and unhesitating response to Jehu's command, the eunuchs, loyal to Jezebel but aware of Jehu's authority, carried out his grim directive. They seized the defiant queen and cast her down from the window. The fall was harsh and brutal, and blood was splattered on the palace walls and the ground. Jehu trampled upon her with his horse, leaving an unsettling and gory scene. After the gruesome event, Jehu proceeded with an unsettling sense of calm, undisturbed by the carnage he had just committed. He sat down to eat and drink, indifferent to the fate of Jezebel, the once queen of Israel. After the meal he commanded that she be buried. However, upon the attempt to bury her, a chilling revelation emerged. Jezebel's fate was even more gruesome than anticipated. Only fragments of her body remained, her skull, feet, and palms of her hands, indicating the extent of the horror that had befallen her. The mystery of Jezebel endures, leaving us with questions that echo through the ages. What drove her to such depths of manipulation and cruelty? Was it her ambition, her beliefs, or a dark force beyond comprehension? Whatever the answer, her name has become synonymous with cruelty and idolatry. Even in the New Testament this is her legacy. In the Church of Thyatira, a woman deceives the church leaders and entices them to sexual immorality and eating food offered to idols. That earns her the title Jezebel, cementing the memory of Jezebel as the ultimate wicked woman in the Bible. Jezebel's demise illustrates the uncompromising nature of God's judgment. It serves as a reminder of the consequences of opposing God's will and perpetuating wickedness. It calls us to be faithful to the God of Israel.